wouldn't mind, you could share my part.
Okay, we're looking for public comment on the Smart School Investment Plan only. So if anybody has any questions about the presentation that Ms. Adams and Mr. Davis have presented, please stand to the podium and ask your questions.
That was actually one of my first questions. I saw that there's a presentation tonight, and we're concerned, a lot of parents are concerned about the Chromebooks, and we want to know what are the cons of this with the Chromebooks and our children and their privacy.
Mr. Miller, would you like to answer that question?
I may defer to Mr. Davis first a little bit.
Yeah, could I sound like, Dean, if you'd like, I'll take that.
Yes.
They're really, from the idea of the Chromebooks, there is no con. If you think about, I had a comment the other night that we gave the students email accounts because the login is last initial or last name, first initial at ccsdli.org. That's basically just a login to get into Google Docs. Very similar to like our internal network, we have certain permissions and modules that we can open up and allow students as well as faculty and staff access to certain modules and certain permissions. We've got Google Docs cranked down very tight right now. No student has access to any email. They have access to Google Docs, the slides, sheets, as well as Google Classroom. That's right now all we're giving students. We will start evaluate as teachers and as the need arises for some of the additional modules. We'll address those modules and see, do we have a policy in place that addresses giving those rights to the students as well as faculty and staff.
Thank you.
I just have a follow-up question, if I can.
Sure.
What about if there's a way around it? How do you, kids will find that way? How will you be able to block that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Google
Am I
Docs,
making that clear? I know my son can find his way around anything.
Google Docs and most of what most people don't realize is the Google, the Amazons, their systems are typically more secure than what most school districts have. Many of my colleagues are looking to put their actual school data out into Google Docs because of how secure it is. Security isn't really an issue. They are all using SSL certificates and encryption with this data, so there's really no way to get around it.
And just how do you protect our children's data from Google taking their data and their information that they put in?
There are end-user agreements in place with Google now that we retain all rights for the data. Google cannot give the data out. If we elect to delete and no longer work with Google Docs, we get to take all that data right back from them.
Perfect. Thank you.
Is there any more questions regarding this topic?